Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's recap is for Wednesday, August the 10th, 2022, Wednesday, August the 10th. Today's General Hospital, once again, was so-so. The only good thing I looked forward to was seeing Spencer, but I will get to that just a little bit later. The things that really don't matter. Maxie treats Spinelli to a pedicure and he's acting like a 3-year-old kid, uh, sitting there getting his feet done. Okay. And then she ends up, bringing the topic around to how long have you had a thing for Britain? Why didn't you tell me? And, Spinelli is doing his usual dance around everything. So that was that. And then we had Sonny and Nina at Charlie's, um they're kissing and she agrees she wants to be with him, and she'd forgotten what his kisses like that were like, and he asked her out on a date for the following night, and she says, well, I'm free tonight. And he's kind of like, the way he's looking, and she goes, but you're not. Okay, tomorrow night I'll have to do. So anyway, they leave, and then she goes to the Metro Court and she sees Ava at the bar, and Ava's talking. Now, mind you, Nicholas was trying to convince Ava earlier, and it's just so pathetic, the emotional blackmail that's happening there, that a husband don't file those papers or I'm not signing them. And you wouldn't want me to, because a husband can't testify against a wife. Like, in other words, look, if I'm not your husband, then hey, I can testify. Nicholas, you have not learned. Okay. Then we have Cody Bell. It starts off with him. Steen starts, the show starts, he had punched Scott in the nose, and Scott is like, goodness, what is that for? And Britt's like, whoa, hey, and Lisa snaps into ninja gear. Kind of gets Cody in this back arm lock, hitting, knees him in the groin, and don't you touch my schnitzel. And anyway, long story short, we were wondering, why would he hit Scott? Is Scott his father? Well, how could that be? Well, no, Scott is not his father. According to Cody, his father was, what did he say her name was? My goodness, and I looked her up too. Since I did not write, yes, Daphne. I think it was, no, Dominique. Dominique Staten was his mother's name. Now, you know what's interesting? I don't remember her. Hmm. But Scott gave a little history, and he said, no, his last name is Bell, or that's the last name that, the family that raised him. Dominique allegedly gave him over to the Bells, who were like the servants of the manor where the Stanton family or Staten family lived. And that was before Scott and her got together. Well, Cody's whole claim is he deserved part of the mother's inheritance versus it all going to Scott and Dominique's daughter, and he doesn't feel that that was fair. And I guess apparently the girl has gone through a lot of that money, and so Scott was like, well, good luck trying to get your hands on it, and that kind of thing. But I'm sure if he could produce proof, perhaps he could sue for some of it. But you know what, Dominique knew she had him, and if she wanted him to have any of her estate, it would have been left in the will. So good luck, Cody, trying to take that done. Good luck with that. Ooh, excuse me. So we then had Drew talking to Valentine. That's interesting. Interesting how that conversation ended up transpiring, because Valentine was smug, like, look, I got ELQ. There's nothing you could do, nothing you could offer me. And Drew was like, oh, really? How about I offer you Victor. And he got Valentine's attention with that. And Valentine's like, what do you mean by that? And he goes, look, your father kept me away from my daughter for years, largely in part to your father's doing. He had a hand in that. Okay. He is a threat to everyone you care about. He says, so eventually that's going to be Charlotte, that's going to be Anna. And what he doesn't know is it's already Charlotte and it's already Hannah. He said, so I have, because, really it's still locked up in Drew's brain, something Victor wants, but, Drew's playing a dangerous game dealing with Victor Cassadine. But Valentine ended up kind of letting him know, I'm not saying I'm going to entertain it, but I'm absolutely not saying I'm not going to entertain it. But I'm going to give you a word of advice. He said, my father is deadly. So be very, very careful with whatever you plan on doing in regards to him, because he will come after everybody you love. And then Valentine looks at Drew and says, trust me, I know. See, that one statement is going to give Drew pause for thought on, okay, then Victor is blackmailing or strong arming Valentine. So that's actually going to be pretty interesting because I'm telling you, I still honestly feel it's going to be Valentine that's going to take Victor down. It's going to be his own son. That's going to be his own undoing. Well, Victor decides he is going to arrange a meeting, under the guise of Nicholas arranging the meeting to Alexis, because all of Victor's, he's working with, we've got Martin Gray working with the the DA, which should be Robert Scorpio, to, reduce Spencer's sentence. Because let's be real, Spencer did actually serve 30 days. It just, he was minus 2 hours, so we'll see where that goes. So Martin is working with the DA. We have, look, Sonny's already progressive. I love the fact Sonny goes to see Spencer at the PCPD. That was the best I've ever seen Spencer. I mean, today, to me, he actually showed vulnerability and humility today. And like he was telling Dante, look, it may not have helped Trina, but I hope she knows I tried. And I hope that made a difference pretty much in what she thinks about me. I was like, man, boy, it made a difference in what I think about you. Yeah. It really did, right? And so Dante's like, well, but hey, you're not going to get to go to a cushy place that you so happily walked your way out of for a day trip. Pittenville's no joke. So when Sonny comes in, because Cameron had sent him some lunch from Kelly's, and he didn't want to eat, so he may have nibbled something. They really didn't show. But Sonny's talking to him, and Sonny's letting him know, see, you did a noble thing. See, that's the Spencer Cassadine that I know. Because he goes, whatever happens to me, it happens to me, but I needed to do it. Sonny's like, that's the Spencer I know. He says, but Pentonville is not Shady Brook. I mean, it's not Spring Ridge. And you are going to need to get ready, is what Sonny said. And so Sonny sat down and said, so let's get started. And I thought, go ahead, Uncle Sonny. You're giving him the ins and the outs. He's like, look, I already got some people on the inside. They're going to be watching out for you. The word is already going to be put out that you are untouchable, not to be touched. He's like, but they can't be, around you. They're not bodyguards. They won't be around you 24/7. You're going to need to keep your head down. Keep your mouth shut. Okay? Don't get into it with anybody. Don't get in anybody else's business, no matter what. And so Sonny's like, and you will be okay. He said, because it's not going to be as bad as you think, but it's not nowhere near what you had at Spring Ridge. So I said, okay, Sonny's got some people in there good. They'll look out for him. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, Victor's calling the governors and everything else. He better have called the warden, Pittenville, and say, hey, my grandson, no, Uncle Victor. So pretty much my grandnephew is coming. Look, I need some special treatment for him. I need him to I'm surprised Victor didn't go next level with that. Okay. So then Spencer says that the commissioner offered him a deal for a reduced sentence if he tells what guards took the bride. What guard took the bride? And he goes, how would you feel, Uncle Sonny, if I became a rat? And I'm thinking, a rat? I kind of like the word informant, Spencer. You became an informant. Okay? See, they're supposed to do their job and do it well. You shouldn't have been able to bribe them, Spencer. And so it was interesting the way Sonny handled it. So Sonny stands up and he said, in my line of work, rats, nah, they don't do well. And then he looked at Spencer, he goes, but you're not in my line of work. He says, I need you to think about it this way. The people that love you and care about you, are they going to do better with you spending as little time in jail as possible, in prison as possible, or with the person that helped you walk around free? Can you think about that? That's a choice you need to make for yourself. And I thought, okay. So we got that part of a deal. And now if Jordan comes to him and said, okay, now if you help me on the Esme Prince situation, I could shave a little bit more off of that too. You can go in there with, 1 day time served, and oops, we have you in, intake for the whole day. You never really set foot in there and you back out. Okay. So we shall see, because I truly, truly, truly don't want Spencer to really have to spend any time in Pentonville, because unfortunately we know what happened to Michael Corinthos. Jason arrived there 1 day too late. 1 day. So let's hope Spencer does not have to go. I'm really actually keeping my fingers crossed. So when Victor cornered or had Alexis come meet him and Nicholas under false pretenses, they wanted to use the invader to rally to keep Spencer out of jail, and she told him how that would backfire. That's going to turn into something it's not. You want this paper to take up arms for a white male not to go to prison for a crime he did commit, versus a Black female going to prison for a crime she did not commit. She goes, no, we're not going to open up that at all. She goes, and she thought about it. She goes, but what I can do, I can show the evidence, all the evidence that is pointing against Esme Prince. I can do that. So that was interesting. But she still didn't really say how it would help Spencer. But Victor better just call in some more favors. He really should. But I was really kind of happy when Sonny came through and he had that talk with Spencer. That was actually quite touching to me. It really truly was. So let's go into comment corner. We had comment from Mary. Mary says the only show she watched was General Hospital. And now she doesn't watch TV at all. So Mary, goodness, you're a diehard fan. She goes, but what happened to it? Bring back Steve and Lango. Um, get some of the good old General Hospital action happening again. Come on, writers. You know what? I'm with you. I'm with you, Mary. Something is lacking right now. It really, truly is. You know, I would really like to see something meaningful, more meaningful with General Hospital. So I'm with you on that, Mary. And then we had Darla. She says, oh my goodness, it was so anticlimactic. She can't wait till the next General Hospital episode. And today, today she couldn't wait for it to end. Darla, I'm with you. See, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you a tip. I would typically watch 15 to maybe 20 minutes of General Hospital, even though this is my favorite soap. I would fast forward through all the storylines that mean absolutely nothing to me. But now that I'm doing the recap, I'm forced to have to suffer through watching more of the soap. I'm forced to suffering to watching more of Cody. Suffering, okay? I'm forced to suffering to watching Spinelli. Suffering. Okay, just so that in case I don't miss something, I don't want to miss too much, because I'm doing the recap, and so I have to make more of an effort to watch more. But General Hospital, you're making it hard. You're making it hard for me to really watch and just report good stuff because there's not good stuff to report. Okay, I'm suffering watching Sam and Dante. Suffering. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so then we have a comment from, let's see, Lashunta. She says she's mad. Why is Spencer going to Pittenville? Make it make sense. I know. I'm with you on that. Let's hope he doesn't have to go. And Lashanta also said, no, that's on my Young and the Restless recap, so I'll save that for that. Susan had a lot of in-depth comments there, but Susan, you're mentioning some things that I think you're ahead of us, where Smokes gets into it with Sonny and Nina, and Sonny's having to stand up and pretty much, Smokes is being snippy with Sonny and all of that. I don't remember that. So is that something ahead of time, or was that a past episode? Somehow I missed it, but I don't think so. I don't think I missed that at all. Let's see. Yeah, Liesl, now that Cody punched her Scott in the nose, she doesn't want him to look or speak to Britta again, And then she's talking about Dante and Sam. We're talking, and Sam doesn't feel comfortable in the house. She doesn't blame her. But guess what? Why don't y'all get your own place? But she's wondering, look, since they're doing that, is Lulu about to come back? I'm hoping Lulu comes back. I really liked her character. And then she says Ava decided not to get a divorce from Nicholas after he tells her that as long as they're married, he doesn't have to testify against her. Blackmail. He's emotionally blackmailing her without saying it. I know. And then Devlin says, today General Hospital was boring to me. That is the consensus from all of us. Well, no, she was talking about Tuesday's episode, because yeah, these reviews are really from yesterday, but some of them were for today too. I really hope Wednesday's episode is better. Everyone have a good night. Well, guess what, Devlin? Today's episode was just it's much better because we got to see Spencer. That's the only thing that made that better. And then we have Richard co-signed to that saying, amen. Go ahead, Richard. And then this chemo beauty said, yes, what a snooze fest. Goodness, she mostly fast forwarded. I know. Dante and Sam should just date for a while. I'm wondering why after Dante left Sam, wait, after Dante left, Sam gave Carly and Cody a weird, Carly and Drew a weird look. I don't know, maybe he's wondering what's Drew up to. I don't know. And yes, Mia was on the show before, and I guess she is actually married to the actor Cameron Matheson in real life. I did not know that until it was brought up um, in a comment before this Chemo Beauties. Haven't got to that comment yet. And then this Chemo Beauty is saying she wants the old Ava back. She goes, Julian will be turning over in his grave. Exactly. Ava was ruthless. Ava was a mob boss. Come on now, mob bosses. That that's still in there with her, but she's acting like it's not. And then Susan also commented to this Chemo Beauties comment, and she says she's starting to come back. She's starting to come back where Esme's concerned. Yeah, a little, just a little. I guess she wants to stay out of trouble. I don't know why. She's been doing good for a while now. Well, I think she's trying to stay out of trouble for Avery's sake because she lost one daughter. She doesn't want to lose another daughter for any reason. I really believe that. I kind of think that, but who knows? I just like Ava being Ava Jerome. But that's all the comments in comment corner. Let's hope tomorrow's better. But you know what? Typically Thursdays aren't, but maybe they're gonna wrap us up Thursday and do a great cliffhanger Friday. We shall see. That is the daily recap for General Hospital.